July the 6th, 2025. Guys, you're looking at Tropical Storm CHANTEL coming up into North Carolina right now. It came ashore overnight after midnight, and I was looking at some of the beach cams along North Carolina. A lot of people still there, surf's up, water's a little muddy, wind's high, a little rain here and there, so be careful as the day heats up today of waterspouts pulling in or pop-up tornadoes in this area. It's really weakened down. It went from 50 miles per hour down to 40 as far as the winds inside the storm itself. Now, the concern that I've had in the last couple of days is flash flooding in the Smoky Mountains. This thing was supposed to come in originally into South Carolina and loop up and come back out right around in this area, probably just in the section of Virginia, southern Virginia. But I'm not sure if that's going to continue. Looking at the front and looking at some of the things that are happening here. The wind shear has been moving from left to right or from west to east. I don't see that it nearly as strong as it has been. So again, you're about to get into some of the mountain regions here. You can see under this map, if you look very closely, the ridges. And again, we're dealing with the Cherokee area. I'm moving all through this area. So what you don't want to have is a repeat of what's happening in Texas. 53 are dead, confirmed so far today, and the rains are popping back up again. And they're a little further north, so it's just going to continue to come through, but maybe it won't occur the way it did with 20 to 30-foot rise in 1 hour. God bless those families there. One man may have lost everyone but himself, kids, wife, everything. So prayers for those folks there. But guys, don't let it happen to you in these mountain areas. Now, this may not be as strong. We're going to look at it in the infrared or sitting in one area as long, but it's not moving that fast on the scale right now. It's ashore. Let's look at the infrared itself. You can see where the concentration of moisture is. Again, this is still supposed to curve. Maybe it will. It needs to do it very quickly and stay out of the mountains, because now you're starting to get into you've got the mountains coming into Virginia in this area. So I think it's staying ashore a little further and a little further west and a little longer than was predicted. And so don't be caught off guard. Texas was caught off guard. And we talked about that storm coming up from Barry out of Mexico for a couple of days. We didn't know it would rain that hard, but it was continuous moisture. No one knew that would happen. But again, here's what we got. The beaches look fairly decent. If you look at, matter of fact, we'll take a look over at a couple of them. Some people out there and all, but I just wanted to come in and look at this. Now, before we look at the webcams, I want to back out and kind of look at the nation, including Texas. And this is what we have. Again, far-reaching trails behind the storm coming down through here. And if it all pulls in and does not push out into the Atlantic immediately, and it's not doing it in this top quadrant here, this section, it's pulling into shore. So that's just going to multiply the rainfall rates, okay? Now look, coming into the Florida Panhandle, you got a system right down here. Now watch these systems, they're sneaky. Guys, do you remember a few years ago that came off the Alabama coast and Georgia coast in this area, went out into the Gulf itself, and then formed into a storm? We'll just keep an eye on it. It may not be what's happening now, but it is definitely doing drifting and expansion of the storm. Notice the outflow right in this area in the white. So you're going to get some moisture, but in this heat of the year, compared to 2 years ago, the summer from hell, bring the rain on. You guys, you cannot be caught in low areas. Don't make that mistake. Wake up, study the history of the area if you're camping or if you're living in a very low area and you've seen floods, you've seen normal floods get very close to you. These are not normal floods. Don't get caught off guard. It's always better to prepare. Let's take a look at the entire nation. Phoenix is scalding hot right now. Now, the West Coast, guys, is pretty dry, but man, there's extreme heat warnings for this section of Southern California and the greater Phoenix area here in the valley. You also have a storm up here in the north central part of the state it's going to be headed over towards Wisconsin in just a few hours. It's like a definitely east drift here. But this is the main problem we got right now. And Texas, we just hope that these storms don't continue to build and move south like we've been seeing. You've got another tropical system forming off the coast of the Baja right now, going out into the Pacific Ocean. Again, not a lot of activity, but where we are watching, guys, can be very dangerous if you're caught off guard. Don't let that happen. They're not reporting any other storm systems in the Atlantic or Pacific in the next, Atlantic or the Caribbean for the next 7 days. We'll have to keep an eye on that, and always keep an eye on anything moving into the Gulf of Mexico this time of the year. Now, this is called Carolina Beach up on the north end. It's located just south of Freeman Park at Happy Hours Rentals. That's where we're looking at from surf checks. You can see you definitely got the surface up. People are out in between the clouds. It's sunny. See this? But again, this is, as you get out into these storms, if you've ever done this, it looks fairly calm out here, but it's not, guys. It just gets worse and worse as you start getting into the swells, and that's where it becomes dangerous, is those large swells that can capsize you. So be careful with that. But again, this is what we're seeing up and down the coast. If you're in a rainstorm, it looks a little worse, of course. But right now, the deal is rip currents. You see these folks waiting right here. The rip currents can take you out, especially in this type of waves. It increases the danger of a rip current by multiple times simply because of the energy involved in a storm system like this. But guys, we're watching it. You watch it. My main concern is floods in the mountains over in the east, guys. So heads up. Be safe.